What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, creator of the Outright Bar, and partner in the Ambrosia Collective. Now, today's video is something I really want to do because I just did a video on Dr. Tony Not So Huge and also Nick Trigili going back and forth about steroids replacing hard work. Now, as I went over in this video, and this is not an insult at all, Tony literally stuck down to like 175 and competed in physique. And honestly, I know a lot of natural guys. In fact, basically every natural pro I know from the ANBF, when my brother won his pro card as a 184-pound natural at 6'1", who have a better physique and more impressive muscle bellies than Dr. Tony Huge, who I actually really like. But I take exception with him saying that steroids do all the work. You don't have to train hard. Whereas Nick is a 300-pound monster who trains his ass off and is fucking huge and takes a lot of steroids too. Myself, 26 years of training. I just went over my HRT dose in my last video I did. And I'm 231 pounds. And if Dr. Tony Huge, I don't know how old you are, if you are 40 years old, I encourage you to come and compete against me in the Masters USA when I reclaim a bodybuilding pro card. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, we'll go HRT dose versus all the shit you want to take. Let's do it. All right? Now, I promised in my last video that I would give you a kind of rundown of a pro cycle for what someone's taking literally a few weeks out from one of the largest shows on the planet. Maybe it was the Olympia, maybe it was the Arnold. Want to keep this as anonymous as possible. This is actual fact, okay? And this is also a common cycle amongst many pros because a lot of these pros share similar coaches who go with the same protocol. Now, I've always used the phrase on this channel, you can't polish a turd into a diamond. Unfortunately, there's a lot of turds with YouTube channels who keep telling people that if you're a turd, you can literally drug yourself into being a diamond. That's bullshit. I go lock myself outside in that basketball hoop at the park across the street and play basketball for 24 hours a day and do all the drills that LeBron James does. I'm still not going to be as good as LeBron James. There's a huge genetic component to every sport, especially in physique sports. From your androgen receptors, to your muscle bellies, to your attachments, to your genetics, to being predisposed to being strength or muscle or whatever. You know those guys who just touch a weight and they grow? You know those guys who don't even train and look like they lift and look like they're on steroids? Yet you know those guys at LA Fitness who are on a ton of drugs and look like they're natural? That's a fucking problem. The fact that people all the time tell me that I'm on Beyond HRT and I'm a fucking liar when I'm standing right here with everything I have. If I didn't get that, it means I'm not doing it right. Because I want to take as little as possible, get as much benefit as possible, because I'm going to maximize my training and my diet, and the drugs are simply that. They're just a supplement. They're a boost. But your main growth should come from hard work. Your main growth should come from perseverance, longevity, and of course, some of us just have shitty genetics. Me, I can eat cheesecake all day and stay lean. My wife, she looks at cheese and she'll gain a pound. So there's a problem, right? The problem is we're not all the same. That's also a great thing. Women and men are different. That's beautiful. You know what women can do that I can't do? Create life in their stomach. That's fucking amazing. Our differences should be embraced. And sometimes, if you're not meant for it, you shouldn't go into bodybuilding. So what does a typical cycle look like for a high-level IFBB pro? GH is the variable. I've heard everything from some take 2 IUs, some take 10 IUs. I haven't really seen any of the crazy shit I've seen in the 90s or the early 2000s where people were taking 20 or 30 IUs. The most I see anymore is 6 to 8 IUs. I don't see anything more than that. Me, I take 2 IUs, this bad boy right here. As for HCG, that is being used. It's being used at around 500 IU 2 times a week. Because a lot of these guys, they come off of steroids when they're not competing or they have a long layoff because they cleanse their system. These guys are healthier than what you'd imagine. These guys are really taking more care of their health than in the history of the sport. Back in Arnold's days, we always talk about them not doing many drugs. I wasn't alive at the time, but I've heard stories from credible sources of literally taking handfuls of depot. That shit ain't good for you. Okay, thyroid when you're getting ready for a show. A lot of these guys are so blessed. I take a very small dose of Armor, which is it's derived from pig thyroid. A very low dose because I do have low thyroid. Even though I'm lean, that doesn't always, like I have a fast metabolism, that's always not thyroid derived. Like a very low dose. A lot of these guys don't even take T3 or Clen because they're naturally lean. If they took T3, they'd flatten out dramatically. Now the more endomorphic or fatter bodybuilders who have trouble cutting down, they're gonna take T3. Usually what I've heard lately, 50 micrograms every day. And they don't even taper off. 50 seems to be where it's staying at. I don't usually hear any absurd doses like 100, 200, 300. There are some coaches who will take them there, but the ones that I know aren't going that high. So those are the variables, right? And there's also peptides and IGF and this and that. A lot of guys are using them, but not as much as you'd think. Of course, you know, when you get low in body fat, people do supplement with Cialis, Viagra, because what happens is, if you're on all these substances, sometimes you might have a sex drive, but sometimes it might not connect with your function down there. So sometimes they will supplement with sexual performance-enhancing drugs. And let's be real here, Hugh Hefner was banging like 20-year-olds at 80. So there ain't nothing wrong with taking little PEDs for the DICK. So, what are they on? I'm gonna give you a cycle. This is literally just a few weeks out from a large show of a bodybuilder, remaining anonymous. Testosterone. You always hear online from these guys are on grams and grams and grams. Typically, 500 milligrams testosterone a week. That's typical. It could be split up in the propionate form, or it could be injected in 1 to 2 injections in the cypionate or enanthate or sustanon forms. Generally speaking, 500 to 750 is normal, but 500 is generally what I see taken now. A lot of guys like Primo. Primo has become kind of the ancillary drug for guys because it doesn't have the water retention issues or the kind of issues down yonder for those of us who want to please our women without taking the Cialis of a Deca. A lot of guys are doing Primo at around 250 milligrams a week. Going into the show, as the weeks get down, 8 and sooner, Trenbolone is being taken at around 200 to 300 milligrams per week. Now, you heard stories about people like Ziz online and all these guys taking literally 100 milligrams a day or more. That's 700 milligrams a week. Professional bodybuilders, they don't like Trenbolone. It hurts our sleep. It makes us feel like shit. It makes us mean. It does. It changes your attitude. So a lot of us, and it makes you obscenely horny. Like to the point where it's fucking annoying. So a lot of bodybuilders will kind of just take it for the last 6 to 8 weeks, around 200 to 300 milligrams. 250 is even what I've heard. So you got right now 500 test, 250 and 250, Primo and Trenbolone, respectively. That puts us at a gram of injectables. So what are they doing for orals? Well, lately it's gotten pretty simple. Again, it depends on the bodybuilder. For someone like me, if I was to go that route, I would take Anadrol to fill out. A lot of these guys, when they take the drying drugs, like the Winstrol, the Anavar, this and that, their metabolisms are so fast, they will literally lose fullness. I shit you not. These guys are genetic freaks. So they will throw in 50 milligrams of Anadrol per day leading into the show. I know a lot of guys who do this. That's usually the drug of choice. For those who are a little bit more reckless, they'll take halotestin. Halotestin is an extremely androgenic steroid. If you think Trenbolone gives you anger issues, halotestin gives you a ton of anger issues. Halotestin is a drug that literally will have somebody benching their PR and a week out from a show. It also a huge chance of injury because it increases your contractile strength dramatically. Powerlifters love it. All right, so someone who's benching 405 for 1 will literally get 405 for 6. I'm not shitting you, I've seen it. All right, halotestin, usually it starts 3 weeks out. It's extremely hepatotoxic. You can tell guys on halotestin, they will literally start getting signs of jaundice after like a week. Usually week 1 is 10 milligrams. Week 2 is 20 milligrams a day, taken pre-workout. Week 3 is 30 milligrams, taken pre-workout. And then they stop. You get the fuck off of it, it'll kill you. As far as anti-estrogens, people are still going with Arimidex, man, anastrozole, whatever you want to call it. There are others. Generally speaking, as you go into a show, it's not healthy. It's not good for you, and it makes your joints hurt like shit. You go from a milligram of Arimidex, let's say twice a week, to a milligram every day, to a milligram to 2 milligrams a day. I've seen people do this. And a lot of times that dries them out so well that these guys don't have any need for diuretics. As for diuretics, those have kind of become less in vogue than it used to be. Now, a lot of guys use it. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you and say diuretics aren't being used. However, it's not the old school Lasix and all that injectable shit. What a lot of these guys will do is they will just take a diazide the night before the show, or maybe a diazide in the morning and a diazide at night, and that's it. A half a diazide. I forgot. I've never used it. I forgot the actual milligrams of what they are, but it will be a diet. I'd have to look it up in my notes because I do. By the way, I coach. My coaching is marclobliner.com. It's marclobliner.com. I got to be real. Most of my clients are naturals. I deal best with naturals because, let's be real, other than HRT, I'm not playing all these big drug games. So there probably are some guys who are better than me at doing the drug thing. However, I do the drug thing. But it's going to be very, very, very conservative. You know, I would rather somebody diet harder than and be leaner so they don't have to use diuretics, right? Diuretics, in my opinion, they work for two people. They work for the guy who is under-dieted, who needs to do whatever it takes to kind of bring out some more definition with some sacrifice. When you take diuretics, remember your muscle is filled with water, all right? So if you're draining water, it doesn't just go, hey, I'm just gonna take this from your subcutaneous. It takes it from intramuscular, it takes it from everything. So diuretics, for most guys, for under-dieted people, or you fucking camel motherfuckers, you endomorphs who hold water like a motherfucker. I trained a guy once who literally would have a carb meal of 200 grams of carbs. I shit you not. Have 200 grams over his allotment and gain 6 pounds of water the next day. If I do that, I lose 2 pounds. Again, it's highly person specific. So that's the cycle. Test, Primo, Trenbolone. Those are the 3 injectables. Then you got HGH, variable, 2 to 10 IU. All right, HCG, keep your boys going. Anti-estrogens, perhaps thyroid, perhaps diuretic. But all these, the cycle, evolutionary.org, I thank you. If I remember to do it, I'm gonna post the cycle. Evolutionary.org posted an article of my proposed steroid cycle. I was on 10 IUs, 6 IUs of insulin and HGH and Trenbolone. Like, come on, guys. I'm not mad. I'm actually quite flattered. However, no. What you got, I don't know who runs evolutionary.org, but I guarantee you this. They probably don't have my genetics. They probably don't have Brandon Curry's genetics. They probably don't have Phil Heath's genetics. They probably don't have Steve Kuklow's genetics. They're probably just guys who are making up for a shitty genetic predisposition by taking a lot of drugs. Look, guys, drugs work. But let's be real here. Nothing works unless you do. And at the end of the day, I'm sick and tired of people minimizing what we do as bodybuilders and calling it just a drug sport. Drugs have a lot to do with this sport. I'm not going to try and fucking fool you on that one. However, to say that that's all we do, that's insulting. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think, man. Let me know what you think. And I really appreciate you guys watching. And this vlog is cool because every day I'm forced to come up with some shit to talk about. Talk to y'all later. We get a lot of questions about my coaching. Do I still do it? Are there spots available? There actually are, but they're filling up really, really fast this year, like really fast. So being that I always talk to every single client, every single day, if you want to be coached by me for diet, training, supplementation, everything in between, let me know. It's done via email. We can do phone calls, pictures, all that stuff. But there will be daily communication on this. It's at marclobliner.com. That's www.marclobliner.com. And, you know, the bottom line is, whether you're looking to get in the best shape of your life, whether you're looking to gain lean mass, or whether you're looking to get stage ready or just be healthier. I've coached everyone from people who are 400 pounds, who've dropped down to 230, who've gotten out of being hypertensive, pre-diabetic, all that good stuff. I've coached people and helped them earn their pro cards. I've coached people and helped them win pro shows. I've coached the everyday person who just wants to be healthy. Anyway, guys, let me know. marclobliner.com, link down below. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look who I ran into in LA.
It's good to meet you. I've been watching your videos a long time. Tell me about this protein bar.
So it's the Outright Bar, man. It's all natural ingredients, made with real food. None of that. You ever want to work out? You want just a little snack, a little bar before training, but you know the other bars might give you a gut bump.
Right.
This is something that doesn't have any prebiotic fiber, no glycerin, no sugar alcohols. It's whole, real food.
That is a tasty bar.
Really?
It's easy to eat. It's not too chewy. Normally eat something like this with a big ass glass of milk. That's good.
So it's like a cookie.
Really good. No, it's not good.
If you want, we also have the, want to try the almond butter one while we're here?
Love to.
All right, so this
That's a badass bar.
This is made with almond butter, Steve.
That's a winner too.
Really?
He's badass. Good protein bars. Where can people find these?
Well, they can find it at any retail stores. You can find it at tigerfitness.com.
2 badass protein bars. So they get 2 double middle fingers up from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.